Welcome back, y'all. I'm INSCOE, and today for DnD Backstory, we're going to be breaking down Marianna Cross, a human blood hunter on a quest to find her sister, and to ensure that the people responsible for kidnapping and transforming her are never able to practice their dark acts again. As always, a link to the free download of all of Marianna's custom character sheets can be found in the description below, and if you haven't checked out her backstory yet, that link can be found below as well. Now, let's get something out of the way. Blood Hunter is not technically an officially released class, and thus Ms. Cross is not playable at Adventurers League tables or similar official games. But with all that said, calling the Blood Hunter homebrew is also, in my opinion, technically correct, but a firm misrepresentation of the class. The Blood Hunter class was created by none other than Matt friggin' Mercer, and it's seen well thought out updates and changes throughout years of playtesting, both in private and in games streamed hundreds of thousands of times. And Mercer is far from just the most famous DM and world builder out there. His is the same mind that produced the fully official Chronergy Wizard, amongst other fully official content. And while there are tables that prefer to ban any and all homebrewed content, most DMs and tables I've played with or at are beyond willing to support the class in their games. It's available in its entirety on D&D Beyond, and the community as a whole generally accepts the class at least as much as they accept Artificer, an official class that people still find out of place. They're wrong, but that's another video. The Blood Hunter ties its theme into its mechanics incredibly well, represents a whole series of archetypes that are otherwise not present in the 5e spread of classes and subclasses, and the class is well balanced enough to consistently feel rewarding when played properly, while not stepping on the toes of any other class with a similar playstyle. So, if you're still not down with Blood Hunters, that's fine, but I urge you to watch the rest of this video and to keep an open mind. So, what is a Blood Hunter? And who is Marianna Cross exactly? Blood Hunters come in a variety of shapes and sizes, but they are all of them monster slayers of one kind or another, who have learned to tap into the secrets of blood magic to increase their abilities and curse and debilitate their foes. Marianna, of course, was turned into one of these slayers involuntarily, the victim of years of cruel experiments as a child. The Institute not only turned her into a Hemocraft-wielding weapon, but they further altered her physiology with chemical agents, granting her the ability to alter her own capabilities on the fly and placing her firmly into the Order of the Mutant subclass. Marianna is a cold, driven woman, determined above all else to violently eliminate all of those responsible for shaping her into the monster she sees herself as. While the projects carried out by the Institute were secretive, she is well aware that she and her sister Mercy were not the first victims of these men of science, and neither were they the last. Marianna travels the continent, funding her travels by hiring herself out as a hunter or bounty hunter, keeping an ear to the ground for news of strange disappearances or of mysterious men in dark gray coats and reflective glasses. Her quest is far from over, but she has done enough work now that she is confident that the Institute knows she's out there, and she takes a cold pleasure in that knowledge. Armed with her curses, her supernaturally enhanced senses, and a truly massive crossbow, Marianna Cross is out to change the world in one very specific way, and God's help anyone that stands between her and her quest for vengeance. Blood Hunters are not technically half-casters, as there's no actual spellcasting inherent to the class itself. However, their progression leveling up does follow much of the same patterns as a ranger or a paladin. They have a d10 hit die, proficiency in all weapons and most armor, gain a fighting style, and pick up extra attack at level 5. They differ greatly, though, when it comes to their class-specific features. Blood Hunters use their Blood Maledict feature to fuel curses they place upon their enemies, and can sacrifice some of their own vitality to amplify these curses and increase their potency. They also add magical damage to their weapons through their Crimson Rites, and their senses are especially honed for tracking down Fae, Fiends, and Undead. Whereas some Blood Hunters utilize a controlled form of lycanthropy in their arts, and others make deals with dark forces for magical powers, Marianna crafts mutagens to further alter her physiology, offering her big situational buffs at the cost of predictable but significant drawbacks. The class may seem a bit complicated to those who have never seen it before, but that's simply because these class mechanics aren't seen as frequently in play. And by the end of this video, you should have a solid grasp on just how to get the most out of our bolt-slinging femme fatale. As a crossbow-wielding combatant, Dexterity is going to be Marianna's primary ability score, and she starts the game with a score of 16 and a +3 modifier. Intelligence directly affects the difficulty check of her Hemocraft abilities, and Constitution is extra important for a class that drains its own hit points to curse enemies, so those are both sitting at scores of 14 and +2 modifiers. Marianna lives and dies by her powers of perception, so that's next up on the list of priorities at a 13 or a +1. And finally, neither strength nor charisma are of much use to Ms. Cross, so they're both sitting at -1 modifiers, scores of 8 and 9 respectively. From the Blood Hunter's list of skill proficiencies, we've selected the Acrobatics, Investigation, and Religion skills, and thanks to the Urban Bounty Hunter background, we're rounding out that list with proficiency in Stealth and Insight, as well as Perception thanks to her being a variant human. That same background provides Marianna with a Thieves' Tools proficiency, and her class provides proficiency with Alchemist supplies as well. Marianna has perhaps had less time to study languages than some other characters in this block, and she understandably speaks only Common and Halfling. One advantage she does have over others in this group, though, is the free feat she gets to start the game with as a variant human. Sharpshooter is tempting, but because of the loading property inherent to crossbows, we're going to take the Crossbow Expert feat now and get it out of the way, so that when Marianna picks up her extra attack feature, she isn't still limited to just one shot per round. And let's talk a little further about Crossbow Expert, because I want to limit the amount of times I hear this argument going forward. The best way to maximize one's damage with Crossbow Expert is to wield hand crossbows and utilize that bonus action attack. I'm well aware of this. But we feel the heavy crossbow needs some love. And outside of a mathematical vacuum, the difference in average damage is rarely enough to notice in-game. Plus, the heavy crossbow just looks so much more badass, and I promise you Marianna will still put out high sustained damage per round, even with the handheld ballista she prefers to wield. With that out of the way, it's time for some class features, y'all. At level 1, Marianna starts the game with the Hunter's Bane feature, so named for the deadly rituals involved in unlocking a Blood Hunter's hemothergic abilities. This feature grants Marianna advantage on all survival checks to track Fae, fiends, or undead, as well as on all intelligence checks to recall information about them. Our other level 1 feature is Blood Maledict, which enables those blood curses we mentioned earlier. For now, Marianna knows only one blood curse and can use it once per short rest, but as she grows in power and ability, she'll learn more curses and have more chances to use them. We're starting things off with the Blood Curse of the Eyeless, a reaction that forces an enemy to subtract a roll of Marianna's Hemocraft die from an attack roll they make. If she chooses to spend hit points to amplify the curse, it will subtract the die from all of its attacks this turn. And this is as good a time to point it out as any. A blood curse will not have any effect against creatures without blood, golems, animated objects, skeletons, etc., unless the curse is amplified. Level 2 brings us a couple of nice little combat buffs. The archery fighting style makes all of our Huntress's ranged attacks more accurate with a flat boost to her attack rolls. Crimson Right can be used on a bonus action, and if Marianna chooses to take a Hemocraft die's worth of damage, she can infuse a weapon of her choice with magical energy, giving extra bonus damage per hit. Each right lasts up to a minute, and for our first selection, Marianna is taking the Right of Flame, which adds a Hemocraft die's worth of fire damage to each attack with the infused weapon. Third level brings us Marianna's official induction into the Order of the Mutant, and that comes with the Mutagen Craft feature. Starting at this level, Marianna knows 4 mutagen formulas keyed specifically to her physiology, and she can craft 1 mutagen per short or long rest. For now, her options are as follows. Celerity increases her dexterity and maximum dexterity by 3, but bestows disadvantage on all of her wisdom saving throws. Mobility grants immunity to the restrained and grappled condition at the cost of disadvantage on strength checks. There's Night Eye, which grants dark vision at the cost of disadvantages in direct sunlight, and Vermilion, which grants Marianna an additional use of her Blood Maledict at the steep price of disadvantage on death saving throws. The entire subclass is designed around these trade-offs, and learning how to anticipate upcoming encounters and correctly deduce clues about enemies is an integral part of learning to play in Order of the Mutant Blood Hunter. Celerity is a direct buff to Marianna's damage, armor class, and initiative, but if she ingests it before a fight with an enemy fond of charm or fear effects, she's going to have a difficult time utilizing that buff. Mobility is a little less risky, but also less universally applicable. Marianna will get immense use of Night Eye in dark forests and deep caves, but it'll cost her in the daylight until she completes a long rest. As players gain experience with Marianna, they'll better learn to navigate the risks and rewards of her mutagens, and she'll pick up more mutagens known and more formulas crafted as she gains levels. Level 4 is the usual ability score increase, and since we've already got Crossbow Expert, we might as well add Sharpshooter to the mix, increasing Ms. Cross's already massive effective range and allowing her to sacrifice a bit of accuracy for extra potential damage on her attacks. Level 5 is our extra attack, as we mentioned earlier. And again, thanks to Crossbow Expert, we can make our 2 attacks per action with no issue. Additionally, at level 5, Marianna's Hemocraft dice increase from a D4 to a D6. Level 6 brings us a second use of Blood Maledict and a new Blood Curse, as well as the Brand of Castigation feature. The Blood Curse of the Marked allows Marianna to mark a creature as a bonus action, causing it to take a second Hemocraft die's worth of damage when hit by an infused weapon attack. And once per short rest, Marianna can now brand a creature she damages with a Crimson Rite infused weapon. Marianna will always know the direction to the branded creature if it remains on the same plane of existence as her, and each time the branded creature deals damage to Marianna or a creature within 5 feet of her, it will take psychic damage equal to her intelligence modifier. At level 7, Marianna picks up a new Crimson Rite. The Rite of the Storm allows her to infuse her crossbow with lightning damage and not just fire. We also grabbed the Strange Metabolism feature from the Order of the Mutant. Marianna's altered physiology now grants her immunity to poison damage and the poisoned condition. It additionally allows her to, as a bonus action, ignore the negative effects of 1 active mutagen for a minute, once per long rest. Level 8 is an ability score increase that's going straight to our dexterity score, and level 9 comes with the Grim Psychometry feature. This allows Marianna to glean insights into the tragic history of objects nearby or her current location, and she can now make history checks about such things with advantage, with a high enough roll possibly granting her a direct vision of the past. And at the end of our run, level 10 comes with a third Blood Curse. The Blood Curse of the Anxious is a little meh in its base state, giving advantage to intimidation checks against the target. However, when amplified, the curse also grants the target disadvantage on its next wisdom saving throw, and that is a hell of a thing to have in one's quiver. And as her Hemocraft has permanently altered her physiology, the Dark Augmentation feature permanently increases her speed by 5 and allows her to add her intelligence modifier to all of her strength, dexterity, and constitution saving throws. That's a wrap on Marianna Cross. A tragic past shaped her into a ruthlessly efficient huntress, one who is unafraid to channel dark powers and embrace the hurts done to her in the interest of stopping others from inflicting that fate onto new innocents. She'll stop at nothing to find her lost sister and to rid the world of the Institute's darkness, and she'll make a powerful ally for any adventuring party willing to help her further those goals, or at least support her hunting for information while working other jobs. We hope that you enjoyed this breakdown of her mechanics, and that you're leaving this video with a better understanding of how to play Blood Hunters in general, and Ms. Marianna Cross in particular. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more how-to videos or character backstories, check out the links in the description below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to stay up to date on more content and characters as they're released. And if you'd like to support this channel even further, you can find a link to our Patreon below as well.